Great moments are born from great opportunity.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Average Joe's wins in a shocking upset.
I feel shocked.
You suck compared to me.
So you guys are two prep school white guys to podcast.
We are underdogs.
They stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
I haven't even told anybody this. This is kind of crazy.
Robinson for three.
All right, welcome back to the Long Shot Podcast. We got a great guest with us.
You say that
today.
every
I do,
time.
but this is truly a great guest, and it's none other than Grant Williams. Grant,
Hey.
welcome to the Long Shot, man.
Thanks for having me on. I was about to say, I feel like we're a bunch of shooters up here, you know?
100%. Actually, we want to talk to you about that.
Thanks for looping me. on that.
Before we get to that, though, I've been talking a lot about how I've recruited the guests this week since I've been doing a lot of episodes here in Vegas. And I basically just go up to people that I know and just say, hey, you want to come on the podcast? And I got to say, man, you were very receptive. A lot of people are a little, gamey, they're a little cat and mouse. Oh, yeah, I'll do it. Maybe hit up my guy, blah, blah. You were just like, yeah, man, let me know. Hit me up. And
See, I feel like it's an honor for me to be on here.
oh, you don't have to do that, dude.
I was waiting, the first year when we were in Vegas. I was like, oh, it's first getting started. I'm trying to be on the long shot.
Oh, man.
I'm just happy to be
it came rolling in with a white and a red.
I was saying, now you're big time, man. We're just crushing two different types of vino. We're just having a good time. You're the VP of the Players Association.
Come on now.
I was waiting for y'all to pour your own glass. I was waiting for us to join.
Do we have any vino back there? Can we get some vino? No vino. All right. Never mind. No vino. What are we sipping on? Just out of curiosity.
I'm not going to lie to you. CJ ordered it. And
I
I enjoyed
was gonna
it.
say I'm a level 1 sommelier, so I figured I could probably pick up some notes if you let me just smell it.
Smells
but no.
floral.
I don't want to smell.
I was about to say.
Also not a sommelier. How's your time been in Vegas, man? I know you're super busy, but
Yeah, that's the number one thing. I feel like it's really busy, but a lot of great connections, meeting a lot of great people, and just being able to just enjoy the time as much as anything. I had my first eagle in golf today.
Oh,
So
unbelievable.
Wait,
pretty cool about that.
break
Wait,
down the hole.
Yeah, give me the hole.
Yeah.
The shot
Par
by
five,
shot.
Par 5.
How many
First,
yards?
about 500 yards.
Wow.
First shot.
Driver off the tee?
Driver off the tee.
Okay.
Dude, let him tell the story.
I mean, he was going to miss out important details.
Absolutely. 500 yards off the tee. There's a tree line. I said, if I can get it between these two trees, I'll be set up great for my second shot, or I could lay it up. So I was like, you know what? Go for it.
Layups are for basketball.
Layups for basketball, right?
There you go.
So I split it between the two trees. I thought it was gone. So the person said, take a drop, everything else. Next thing you know, we drive the cart. We get up there, his ball, and I look up further. I'm like, wait, what's that? And he's like, that's your ball. And I was like, okay. So I walk up to it. Literally like 100 and it was like 180 from the.
All right, so you're 320 off the tee.
That's good math.
That's high level math. That's Michigan
high
math
level,
right
high
there.
level. That's Michigan. math right there.
320 off the tee. That's a long way.
It was, and then I picked up and I hit my next shot, back of the green, hit a tree, fell off a ridge,
Stop.
landed in the fringe.
Grant, you got to leave that part out.
I sailed it. No, I just sailed it. I really thought I had it like 80%.
What was the club selection on the second shot?
It was a 190, so I think I used I was supposed to use my 7, but I think I used my 6.
Oh, so you got
We're
some
hitting a
distance.
7-iron
Yeah.
190.
He's a
Got a
big
little
guy.
torque, man.
Oh, my
got
gosh.
a little strength behind me.
Knows how to leverage those hips. Oh my goodness.
Know it. Next thing you know, I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, I'm on the fringe. I'm 20-something feet from the hole. And next thing you know, he's like, all right. I said, do I chip this on? What do I do? I was like, no, I'm just going to putt it.
Put it out.
So I putted it out, trusted it, went down the ridge, played it with great pace, and eagled it in. And I screamed bang like I was Mike Breen.
Was it like a putt that if you didn't hit the hole, it would have went?
Oh, yeah. It was downhill.
10 feet
So
by?
it's one of the things where I had to I played it slow.
Right.
Let it play down the hill, and it went left to right at first, and then came right back, right to left.
A little double
Landed
breaker.
double breaker. Landed right in the hole.
How long have you been playing golf?
Honestly, since the bubble. So
Probably picked it up. I think a lot of
handicap-
people picked it up. That's when I really started to get back into it and play a lot more.
Hey, we
Just
gotta get out there.
Yeah,
Back
100%.
in Boston.
Back up in New England. Yeah.
How much time are you taking away from basketball? Because you played deep into the. You guys are playing till what? Early
2.5
June, mid
weeks
June.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy to think about, but they told us to not touch a basketball for at least 3 or 4 weeks. So
Wow.
I actually when I went back to the facility this past week, it was the first time I touched the ball. And so I've just been working out, lifting more recently, but I want to get back onto the court. It's been too long. So, and a guy like me, I gain weight easily. So got to get back out there and run.
So I'm from the Boston area. You now call Boston your home. I'm curious, do you have any favorite spots, food spots? I've heard rumors that you're actually a little bit of a foodie. that you're out in the mix, like doing reviews of places and shit.
Hey.
Do you have any favorite spots, and are you willing to share?
I am a foodie for sure.
Okay.
I'm a type of person that I like recommendations more than anything, and I try and go to in different locations, try to Michelin star, see what they're talking about.
Little tasting menu
little
action?
tasting menu action. You know, let's try to see what it's like.
All right.
But in Boston,
Big money. He's got an extension coming up. He's
now.
big. He's big money.
Hey, listen,
Tasting
we're
menus.
getting there. I'm about to say it started a couple of weeks. So hopefully Brad gives me a call. But in Boston, the Italian North End has really been my thing. I
great
stick to
Italian.
stay around there. I've been I actually follow a Instagram page where they just post food content, and it's all in the greater Mass area. So I've literally been trying different spots, just kind of exploring. There's a nice Jamaican restaurant in Dorchester that I've been to. There's a nice it's everything Italian, whether it's Strago, whether it's Riccardi's, whether it's Arya. All those in North End are amazing. In regards to sushi, I've gone to Zuma. I've gone to what's the name of it? That's in Back Bay.
Burger King.
You know what I'm talking about?
Burger King, I think.
Sushi in the Back Bay.
Sushi in the Back Bay.
Back Bay sushi. I mean Zuma.
So Zuma is
That's in the comments?
That's in that is in the Four Seasons.
Yeah, in the,
But
by the comments.
so then the one I'm thinking of is by the train station, and it's right beside it. It's literally across.
All right.
the
Well,
street
shout out to
from the
that
Tasty
place.
Burger.
I love the city of Boston. I don't hide that at all. It's
true.
And I think it's a very underrated food city as well. There are a lot of great options. Let's talk a little bit of basketball. As much as I enjoy talking golf and food. Actually, before that, what's your handicap in golf?
Now it's in the 20. Like I'm breaking 20 more recently.
Okay.
I'm not a max handicap anymore.
Okay,
which is nice. But the only reason I'm that high is because say I triple bogey the first two holes.
Right.
It's like the start of it. But when I get bet, like my next step is my short game, and I really could excel because I had a chance for multiple birdies today, and I just either 2-putt, 3-putt. It was bad. But
Yeah, so you got to do what I do, and some people say it's cheating, but I just don't take anything worse than a double bogey.
yeah,
I just don't take it. No,
It's a great score.
I feel like my game is at the point where if I start taking triples on my scorecard, my handicap is going to inflate, and it's
Duncan.
going to be like.
What are you talking about, dude? You write the score down.
No,
that you
I
get.
disagree. I don't take anything past a double. I just don't do it.
So if you have a double and the ball is like in the sand, you're like, all right, I'm picking.
I take a double. Occasionally, no. If I'm like in my pocket, like I'm not finishing a hole, I'll take a triple. But like that's the only time.
It's like if you're at the line and you miss the first one, you're like, nah, second one's good. Second one would go in.
You might as well just count it. You know?
Yeah,
What?
100%.
What are we talking about?
I want to talk on the court, the improvements that you made this year. Did you, like, we talk a lot about how situation is everything. How much of it is you actually improved your game? Because I think you did. How much of it is that versus how much of it do you feel was you just had a real opportunity to step into a role that the team really needed you to fill, and you did it to a high level?
Yeah, I would say it's about 70-30, you know. The improvement side of things was 70.
Yeah.
I feel like not only the amount of effort I put into like making shots this summer, as well as the defensive intensity I've grown with throughout my first 2-3 years in the league, that just allowed me to fill a role that was needed. And the opportunity arose, you know. When I was playing with under Brad, it was more so like I had to be a tweener for the 5 my first season. And the next season, we had a lot of big surplus, and they were all vets, and we weren't that great. So there was not much like need for me to be out there, I would say. And we had a great conversation about it after the season. Like we just weren't well-equipped team-wise to play me. So next, you know, when Ime comes in, I called him. I said, what do you need from me from the day one? And he told me exactly what he needed. He needed me to shoot, knock down open threes. He needed me to defend best players on other teams, and he needed me to be who I am, be a leader of the team. And that was right when I stepped into training camp. That's how it was. And if you ask anybody from the Celtics last season, when we walked into training camp, it was between me and Al Horford who were the best 2 players. And I look back at it and I'm like, like that's something that I feel like I got to do every single season because, like, you know, unlike the guys who are quote the star guys, their role is secure, you know, versus me every single season. Now we added Gallo, we added Malcolm, you know, we have guys that are even more talented. Now you have to do the same thing again and show your versatility and show your impact to a team that, even though they already acknowledge it, you still have to compete at a high level.
Yeah, 100%. I want to ask one thing, kind of like specific X's and O's, because throughout, I guess, throughout a lot of your career, at least to our organization, you were known as somebody defensively who could really be difficult because of your ability to push up switches, be really physical at the point of the screen with a switch, and then switch and then guard the ball. When you played us this year, there was a lot of times that you were like back and not up at the point of the screen. And you were like almost kind of in like a pseudo drop where you would kind of stab at the ball and get back to yours. I'm curious what, like, because for me, when I was watching, I was like always very surprised by that, but obviously it proved to be effective. Mm-hmm. What was like, and I don't need you to give away like too crazy of secrets, but like what like schematically was like kind of the philosophy there?
Yeah, honestly, some of it wasn't even scheme. Remember my rookie year when we played in the playoffs, what I learned about you guys' team is how physical you guys are fighting that screen. So, like, some teams when you're steering the screen and you're being physical with them, they allow you to push them, then it allows you to switch. Versus what Bam does and what Dwayne does, they stop short, they flip the screen. There's all those things that you can't really take advantage of as a defender. So you kind of have to play as a pseudo, like if it set it, I'll switch it. But if they don't, then – or if they get out of it quick, I might just bluff at the ball, and get back to them.
Get the guy on the ball back in front.
Those guys are so much of a threat at the rim, you know, like you don't want to give up a lob.
Right.
Because then if you do, then it causes your defense to sink in, and then you're getting an open three. Tyler gets an open three. And that's where you guys beat teams, is where you guys are making shots. So as much as we can make y'all play, hopefully in the half court in isolation versus like all the motion cutting and stuff like that was the biggest thing. And I remember I used to tell guys, like, unless I tell you I'm switching, or unless because my matchup was Bam, you play and get through. Right. And that's what I told him my rookie season. If you go back and watch the clips of that, when we played you on the bubble, like, our coverage was a certain coverage. Yeah. But I was like, they get mad at me sometimes for doing it, but I make up things sometimes. Right. So it's like, they're like, all right, like, we like that. So be that with Bam. Like, you guys are probably the only team I do that with, you know, outside of any other team.
I'm gonna pump your tires a little bit. That first year, your rookie year, and obviously you've grown so much as a player since then, confidence-wise, skill-wise, everything. But we would have entire segments of film sessions dedicated to figuring out how we could score in ball screens that you were defending. I just thought you would like to know that.
I appreciate that.
Without disclosing too much. I don't think that discloses anything.
It makes you feel cool because it's
no, but it was like it was crazy, and we were actually like having conversations of it's like, we really have to scheme around Grant because he's so disruptive with his switches, and you know, we're not creating any advantages. Right. And you know, in the NBA, if you're not able to create advantage with an action, then you get flattened out and you play isolation, and that's what everyone wants you to do. So, anyways, I just felt like, you know, you would want to hear that.
I actually loved hearing that. That actually made me feel pretty cool about myself. If Coach Spo was talking about me in the meeting, normally I think that's JT, JB, all those other guys. But if Spo's talking about me, hey.
You're doing something right.
This is when you turn around and go, yeah, Duncan, actually, we schemed against you.
No, I don't want that.
Listen. All I got to say is this. This man killed me in a playoff my rookie season. Like, it was to the point where we were just concerned about, like, livelihood. Because this man, like, we
don't need to do this.
And the next thing you know, it's like whenever he came on the court, you're like, don't leave him. You know, that's so frustrating because, like, there's not many guys in the league where it's like, all right, like, you can't help off them at all. Like, you know, because he jumped so high on his shot, and next thing you know.
That's not where I thought you were going with that. I mean, I appreciate that.
That's what I'm saying.
He's an athlete.
He's an athlete. Like, it's
just
like,
raw,
he's six, what are you,
physical.
6'5", 6'6"?
Yeah, I'm 6'8", but that's all right.
6'8"?
6'7", 6'8". I'm definitely taller than you.
I did not think that. I thought this whole time we were the same height.
I'm definitely taller than you.
Now you make me feel even shorter.
I mean, you're significantly stronger and more built and more athletic. Anyways, I want to talk about the finals. Unless, do you have something?
We'll get to it later.
All right, I want to talk about the finals. What type of trash talking was taking place? And can you shine just a tiny little light on maybe some of the things that transpired?
How PG do I have to be on this pod?
It's absolutely zero. Podcast. You can curse.
All right.
Shit.
So from the beginning, like, I would say that I'm not the most trash talk guy. Like, as you know, I'm like,
some guys on your team are though.
Some guys on the team are, but like,
and
I'm the type
guys
where, like,
on the other team are.
As someone who's outside of this world, can you elaborate who on your team are like the guys who are firing back?
The guys who fire back, it depends on the matchups. I feel like Smart's talking no matter what.
Okay.
Rob doesn't talk. JT doesn't really talk, but his antics are a thing. JB talks when he's feeling himself.
He'll like talk under his breath.
Like he'll say like light stuff, and like, or if a guy like goes at him. I remember we played the Suns and D Book was talking trash, and JB's just every time he scored, he would be screaming, like he'd be yelling at this man. So like for me, it's like I only talk when either somebody goes at somebody else, so I'll step in the mix, or it's like from the beginning I'm trying to set a tone. So like in that Warriors series, my whole thing was you're not about to change or impact the game in a certain way. So like Dre was chilling most of the series in terms of like how vocal he was. But like for me, it was like, let's get to it, like let's compete. And I remember that first game, we were going so much back and forth, like the bozo, like his thing was he always says bozo, or he screams a bitch, like all that stuff. That's his thing. Versus me, I'm always like trying to like do the annoying shit. Like I'm saying like I got facts about this man from like Google and stuff. Like, ain't you supposed to be from Saginaw? Like, how you gonna be complaining about this bullshit ass call? You know, like I remember somebody told me a story about how he got into an altercation when he was younger and he was knocked out. And I remember I literally was doing research.
Yeah,
like I was dialed in trying to like just like throw him off. And then that's the first time I've ever had Dre like not say something back to me. And I was like, yeah, I got one that time. Because most times they only show his trash talk. So I'm just like, I'm over here like, dang, nobody here hears what I'm saying. Like, I be saying some cool stuff. But like, next thing you know, like, I remember every single possession, I'm like, make a shot. Like, he said, you trying to be like me? I said, how am I trying to be like you if I'm better than you already? Like, I remember I said that to him. So I was we just going back and forth. But like, that's all love because like, that's a guy that modeled my game and like I idolized. So like, at the end of it, like as much as we were going back and forth on the court, like it's all love at the end of the day.
Yeah.
As the married one in the Long Shot Pod duo, let me just take a brief moment to talk about Indochino because I've done it before, but it's worth mentioning again. On my wedding day last summer, Indochino could not have come through more clutch. You know, planning a wedding can be very stressful. My wife took on 90, maybe 95% of the planning, but the 5 to 10% that was left with me stressed me out. I'm just going to be honest. She left me with the big stuff, the DJ, the food, and, you know, what I was going to wear, what my groomsmen were going to wear, which, you know, was an exciting process to plan, but it can be pretty stressful. But with Indochino, they made the process as smooth as possible. My guys looked unbelievable. I'd like to think I looked pretty good too. And we all got to make custom suits from scratch. We got to create everything. I'm talking like lapel, buttons, pockets, of course, color and undershirt. I mean, everything. We got to build it from scratch. We got to look exactly how we wanted. And it was all custom fit to perfection. What more can you ask for? At Indochino, every suit is made to your exact measurements. You can customize every single detail just like we did. And here's the thing. The best part is that the Indochino suits only start at $429. Undershirts start at $79. It's affordable, it's custom fit, and let me tell you, it's pretty sexy. If you've got a big day coming up, getting the perfect look is no big deal with Indochino. Get $50 off any purchase of $399 or more by using promo code LS at Indochino.com. That's $50 off a purchase of $399 or more at INDOCHINO.com. Promo code LS.
First off, you said, how am I supposed to be like you when I'm better than you?
I did.
Well, I will say something that you've done that Draymond has not done is you've taken 18 threes in a game.
Hey.
Which I was watching.
I don't think you've done it.
He has it one time this year.
I think it was 17, no?
I'll get a fact check.
I'm about to say, that's a fact check right there. I don't know if you've done 18.
I was watching that game. Obviously, it was game 7. We were playing the winner with a lot of intent. And, man, that was an incredible – I mean, you were – because I think you went like – you missed your first like 3 or 4.
Yeah, so I went 1 for 4, and I didn't shoot the next one.
And I remember you like kind of got one on a swing or a kick out because Brooke was just in the paint.
Yeah.
And you caught it and you like looked it off and passed. And I'm like, nah, he's got to shoot that if they're going to win.
Oh, you should have heard with JB and JT when I came to them. Shoot the fucking basketball.
Right.
Like, this is what you fucking do. Like all this stuff. And
I
I'm
love
like,
that. That's awesome.
And I'm like I'm not a person that I don't want to take 20 shots in the game or stuff like that. I haven't been that way my entire life. Like, I've always been a person that like likes creating for others, likes to, you know, like I like winning basketball in a sense. And for me, I never knew that as winning basketball. So next thing you know, they're like, nah, every time you get it, you shoot it. And I was like, all right, you don't have to tell me twice. So that next couple possessions, even at the start of the second half, I don't know if I started or if I came in early, but next thing you know, I caught the ball immediately. The first shot I took was over Brooke. He was close. He was flying out at me contesting, and I shot it immediately and made it. And that just changed the whole dynamic of the game where I felt confident in that every shot I had was going to go in. So 100%. I remember looking back, and if you asked me, I was still mad after the game because if you told me I shot 18 threes in the game and I only made 7 of them, I was so mad. I was like, bro, I only made 7 threes? I would at least give myself 9 to 10.
7 in a game 7, though, bro.
Yeah.
That's big time.
Yeah. That's why they humbled me a little bit afterwards. They're like, do you realize like you shot more threes than anyone in playoff history? And I was like,
is that true?
Like in a game, especially in a game 7, like Steph had the at 16.
Previous record of
16. And I shot 18. I would say this: 2 of them were forced. Like so, I always say I shot 7 for 16.
Yeah.
But like, that's crazy. Like 18 threes in a game. Like I've never shot 18 threes. Shoot, I don't know if I think I shot 29 threes in my junior year of college. Like you know what I mean? Like
really?
I don't think I shot that many threes in a long time.
Man. Well, I'll make you feel a little bit better. Duncan, most attempts in a game is 17, and he was 5 for 17. So
yikes.
Hey, that makes me feel good about
one of the best
myself.
shooters ever.
These of us are one of the best shooters. You know,
7 for 18. It
Was that?
was against Boston.
Oh yeah, that was this year.
Yeah.
that was this year.
Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, I was in Miami when you guys. It was earlier in the season. You guys kind of put on us.
Got you.
That was. I think I made I was 3 for 3 to start, and then I went 2 of. I mean, you did the math.
Oh yeah, I remember because we came to the bench because the whole routine of that game was do not let him get hot because when him and Tyler score, they win. So it was like when you shot 3 for 3. I remember I'm coming off the bench, chain gang. I remember coming off the bench and I cursed the starters out. I was like, "What the? We just talked about this. Like he should not be getting these shots off." And they came out on some like OD, like he's not getting another shot up. You were still shooting them. I was like, hey.
Yeah, I was chucking. I mean, 17 of them, you would know.
That's a lot of shots.
Once you get it up like
3.
15, 16, 17, you're like, wow, I've really shot a lot today.
This is like a workout routine.
I want to dive into that like psychology a little bit more because, like you said, you go from like you get them up, Dunk. Like you have multiple games where you're shooting 10 to 15.
Yeah.
But you're not in that range at all. So for you, when it's clearly the other team's strategy to let you get these looks off, and you miss your first, 3 or 4 shots or whatever it is, to have the mental fortitude to keep firing them up. Like, do you have points where you're like, this feels wrong, I should stop taking these shots?
Absolutely. Like when I missed 3 in a row, I was like, I might as well just get it to the next guy. You know, it was one of those things where like, because normally I shoot like 4, maybe 5, max 5 threes in a game. So like the fact that I shot more than that, even then I was just like, it's the first quarter and I got 5 attempts. You know what I mean? Like,
You feel selfish.
It felt selfish. It felt like I'm like taking shots from guys, but then you go back and look at the film and you're like, wow, it's an open shot. Like, if you told me I had open shots like that, you're gonna shoot it no matter if you shot it 4 times or 20 times. So like, it definitely hit me like, especially at halftime, because they like Ime came up to me and was like, you got to shoot the ball, you got to shoot it with confidence, and like everybody just kept saying that because like for me it's like I shoot it with confidence. I'm a guy that like I like playing and stuff like that. But I've always been like defensive minded, but also like playmaking side of things and less so scoring. So like just the fact that I looked up and I was like, I have 27 in an NBA game. Like I would have never told if you asked me that. Game 7 of NBA game.
Yes.
Eastern Conference semifinal.
Yes.
Like
the biggest stage.
I remember watching the Kelly Olynyk game before that game too, which was crazy. I was like, that's actually like some weird like shit that happened. Like I don't know why, but Kelly Olynyk's Game 7 performance, I literally watched an hour before that game.
You channeled it.
I love it.
Channel Kelly. I guess.
You make a good point too, in that like I feel like particularly especially when you get in the playoffs when it's so hard to score, if you don't take the shots that are a function of a good offense, then you're basically shooting yourself in the foot. And even if you have little stretches where they don't go in or whatever, ultimately, like you just have to take those shots because if you pass them up, they're going to lead to worse shots and turnovers. Ultimately, so the fact that you have guys like JT, like JP that are in your ear to like be aggressive, still shoot. A coach like Ime who's getting on you at halftime, shoot, be more aggressive. I got to imagine that that's a luxury in terms of just your mental, like being able to have a little bit more clarity over like this is what I got to do.
Oh yeah, that confidence was through the roof that game. Like I haven't felt that offensively confidence since I was in college, because like when you get to the league, unless you're actually roll, you're not doing that often. Right. So like the fact that they was just like if your shot is there, you take it. They didn't care if it was contested or not. They just said like shoot it. And next thing you know, I took like 2 or 3 where I was like, probably shouldn't have taken that one. But like most of them, like I was shooting aggressive. Like I shot one in transition, like normally I don't do. Like stuff that you just made you like. And I was celebrating. Like normally if I hit a 3,
you were popping off.
I just run down the court, threw it like a 3 or something like that. I'm over here doing the JT celebration, kissing and blowing to the crowd. I'm over here like dancing. Like I was like, yeah, I was having fun that game. And then at the end of it, I remember Bobby tried to dunk on me and I blocked it.
Yeah, I remember.
And I just got so hyped because it was just like one of those things where you think back to when you were a kid, you know?
Yeah,
like that's a fun moment.
Yeah, for sure. I want to talk about the energy shift because it's been documented by so many. I mean, the Jaylen Brown, the energy is about to shift. Obviously, the timing of that tweet is impeccable in that it actually, like, something clearly did change and you guys go on this incredible run. Was there something that actually transpired in terms of like a team meeting or something, or was it just he was just like, we're kind of at a low point, we're going to change this, we're going to turn it around? Yeah,
I think that we all just kind of felt that, you know, like at the beginning of the season, we were still learning each other. Like we had a group of guys that knew Ime, like you didn't know him that well. Like you're buying into a new system. And then all of a sudden, like even before we made the trades, we were in like a 6-game winning streak, and we were just like, yeah, we're low-key like that. Every game we played before that, we either lost by like 4 points, or we had an 18-point lead in, and we ended up losing because we just weren't disciplined. And a little bit of discipline showed up in the playoffs, but we just had more confidence. So when JB tweeted that, I remember looking at it and be like, I feel that too. Like I kind of made me like motivated to like make that happen.
Yeah, make it real.
So then before the game, we used to say everything Easter. I don't know where he came up with everything Easter. I don't know what it means. We still to this day. Everything Easter. And we just said that before every time. And next thing you know, we just kind of rode the wave. And we lost 5 games throughout the rest of the regular season. And it was like, dang, like that's some dominating ass stretch. And either JB's a psychic or he just, you know, he does believe in spirituality. He's very cerebral if you know him that well. So maybe he went to a fortune teller and they told him that.
Just to provide a little context. January, for people who might not know, January 6th, you guys are 18-21. You finished the season 51-31.
Sheesh.
That's crazy.
That's an insane turnaround.
Yeah. Hey, meanwhile, Miami Heat just dominated the whole regular season at 1 seed.
Maybe this is a stupid question because you guys went to Game 6 of the NBA Finals. But how close did you feel as a group? Like, again, we talk about that energy shift. There was something clicked. Maybe it was the everything Easter. I don't know what it was.
Everything
but you
Easter.
Guys,
everything you guys Easter, baby.
Were different. But then you run into this championship experienced, you know, juggernaut in Golden State. Do you come out of that series? Like, have you had time to reflect on it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, when I've reflected and looked back to those games, like, I still will say confidently to this day, they weren't the better team. You know what I mean? Like,
Golden State was not the better team.
Yeah, I will say that confidently. I will say they were a more disciplined team. I will say that without a doubt. Like, their discipline and also their history of being in the finals.
Championship pedigree.
Championship pedigree, you say, that was real.
Yeah.
And I feel like at times, like, when you go back and watch the film, like, we had commanding, like, either leads or had opportunities where we went on runs, and next thing you know, we just, like, turned it over 3 times because we missed 3 shots. Because instead of making the right read, because we missed those shots, we started forcing things and just stuff like that. The discipline of just making the right play over and over and over again, we didn't play with. Well, they play the same no matter what. They're going to get the same shots. They're going to create the same looks. They know who the priorities are, and they're going to play with pace. And they had a great, you know, like spacing. Like even us, we weren't disciplined enough spacing the floor. Like that stuff. Less so the fact that they were more like a talent thing. Because Steph is phenomenal. Steph is the best point guard ever, honestly, just by playing against this man. Like, he is unreal. I've never played anybody like him. But, like, when I look down a line or even just comparing the teams or even just, like, what we felt on the court, you should have heard how badly they celebrated after Game 4. They were, like, screaming because they knew they weren't supposed to win that game.
Right.
And, like, stuff like that where it's like we just were confidence-wise. Like we knew, I think the overconfidence side of things kind of got to us. Like discipline, not understanding that, like we may be the better team. That same thing happened, I guess I would say, in that rookie bubble. Like I remember we didn't take y'all as serious as we should have. that year because we were so quote loaded as talent wise with Gordon, Kemba, Smart, JB, JT. Like
That was a weird series too because you guys were like you had double-digit leads in the second half of games 1 and 2, and then you were down 2-0.
That's what I'm saying. Like same way we just weren't a disciplined team this season. I think that's the number one thing for us is just coming back with a better mental discipline and approaching the game next year. Because even like I look back to the Miami Heat series, like went to game 7 games in that series. The first 2 games of that series, you guys won 2 quarters. Or sorry, the 2 games you won 2 quarters out of 8 or 12, whatever it was. Yeah. Same way, like we had just had that, and then Milwaukee Bucks series, like we knew exactly what was going to take to win, except we prolonged it because next thing you know, we're at game 4, game 5, we could easily end the series, and next thing you know, we go to game 7. So like things of that nature where we just weren't as disciplined as we should be as a collective. And I think that's the maturity side of things that we're all going to improve on and get better with. And I think that's going to take us to the next step and really help us go improve next season.
Isn't it crazy though? Like, and Davis and I have talked about this before on other episodes of this, but like, take that Bucks series for example. I don't want to say you guys had no business winning Game 6, but that was a like you guys played incredible. I mean, JT had 40. Like, offensively, you guys were just firing on all cylinders. And it's like, if you guys lose that game, lose that series, there's an entirely different narrative to your entire group, your entire season, what everything looks like moving forward. You start getting all the noise again about like, oh, can so-and-so coexist and, whatever, all the bullshit that now has since clearly been disproven. But it's like, that's how slim that margin is.
Absolutely. You see, I always say this. Think about if we didn't sweep the Nets in that first round series. Yeah. It wouldn't be a KD trade. Right. It wouldn't be a Kyrie potentially going to the Lakers. You're saying from the that's just how this league goes. Like where one little series or one opportunity will change the course of an entire franchise.
Right.
And I look at it and I'm like, this group, we're the same age. We get along. We understand what it takes to win. Like I look back when they used to say JB and JT couldn't win together. They went to Eastern Conference Finals twice.
Yeah.
They've been there. They're what 4 out of their 5 NBA seasons, something like that. Like that's unheard of for guys that are 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 years old.
Yeah.
Like, and I always say like
3 out of 5.
Yeah, 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
I think it was either 3 out of 5 or 4 for 6, one or the other.
It might be 4, honestly. I don't know.
I couldn't tell you the exact number, but like when I look back to it, it's like there's not many guys in history that could say they did that.
Right.
So like, we always said block out the noise, don't let it affect you because at the end of the day, they're just going to tell that story one way or the other. So you create your own narrative, and I think that's kind of how what JB was talking about is the energy's about to shift. Like the same way y'all were keeping that same energy, saying that we shouldn't be playing together, they should split us up. This team isn't good as they think they are. Then there was like, oh, this is one of the best teams that we've seen. They have the best defense. They have the best this, that, or whatever. Like, it's just a matter of how the season goes and how they talk about you. So you can't really pay attention no way.
Favorite level of basketball, like the most fun you've had?
College.
Really?
By far.
Why?
Y'all like losing in the tournament.
Completely different. Like, what's that?
You like losing in the tournament?
Didn't you lose in the tournament?
I mean, on Monday night, but.
I'm just saying, did you lose? I'm just saying, like, loser's a loser. They don't talk about. They're not going to remember us losing to the Warriors. They're going to call us losers either way.
What was the furthest you made? I mean, I got a ring though, Final Four. Like, so
that's
actually, I don't think we got a ring.
I was going to say consolation ring. There we go, consolation banner. I was going to say we made it to Sweet 16. I lost. So I always say my second year, I lost to Loyola Chicago before their Cinderella run.
Oh, that's right.
On the double clutch buzzer beater.
Clay Custer.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was. And then the next season, Ryan Klein had 27 points to retire for basketball the year after. So
Ryan Klein. Shout out Ryan Klein.
Shout out Ryan Klein, man. Carson Edwards is always going to be screw you, fuck you, even though I love you, man. So, like, that's one of those things where, like, I look back to the college, we had so much success. We had so much fun as a group. Similar to how this past year's team in the Celtics, like, the TD Garden is unlike anything I've been a part of, but also, like, TBA, Thompson Bowling Arena, if you never played there, like, it gets hectic.
Yeah.
As any SEC team, what's the hardest arena to play in? They'll either say us or Arkansas.
They're not saying Rupp?
No, it's a bunch of old people that just clap like this.
I have heard that.
Like, you know
all right, my rapid fire is what do you want to do post basketball? Because you're a very business minded individual, as I've come to learn.
Yeah, so like that business savvy thing is great. I would say I would continue to do that, but I like the front office or analyst role kind of, because I love the structure of teams. I love being able to like see how people work together and like those relationships, and I've fostered a lot of them throughout my career so far. But also like the like what you're doing right now, this is a
great opportunity for you to showcase your abilities.
Yes, hopefully
podcast.
this is your top viewed episode.
Hey,
and they care about me for some reason.
Open door invite whenever you want to pop on.
Whenever you want to pop on and make a case for why you should be an analyst post career, we have an open door.
You'll be our Boston Celtic correspondent.
Just know I'm your correspondent. Give me a call whenever you're in the city.
I love it.
Done deal. Okay, one more rapid fire for both of you. Because you shooting 18 threes and hitting 7 in a game 7 has inspired me to ask, who are the most underrated shooters in the league? Ooh. Like everyone knows Steph can shoot. Everyone knows Duncan
All right,
can
I think
shoot.
Seth
Curry?
Yeah.
Patty Mills. Those two guys.
Seth and Patty are both. That's a great answer. Patty's.
Those guys, you're just like, when the shot goes up, you're like gasping. Sam Hauser. Y'all don't know. If y'all have not seen him play yet,
Sam can shoot that shit. Yeah.
This man, I don't know if he ever like cracks our rotation, like that, because we have a gauntlet, ahead of him right now. But like this man, if you see him shoot, it's absolutely absurd. Like, I have no, like I don't know who I would take in a shooting competition between anybody besides Sam Hauser.
Shout out Sam Hauser.
Shout out Sam Hauser.
Shout out.
I mean, don't disrespect the host of this podcast.
No, Sam.
Disrespect. It's massive disrespect if that's the case. Because Sam
can spray it.
Sprays it. He can't spray it on the move though. Duncan's on some unreal. I'm running off of 6 screens, shoving you, almost pulling your arm out. Next thing you know, he's throwing the ball up that he's jumped 6 feet in the air for.
Well,
I don't know where the high jumping.
I don't know. It's just because I'm a little bit taller.
Is it just because you're tall?
Yeah, he didn't realize that I'm 3 inches taller than him.
Right.
That is
you're
very
6'3",
true.
right?
I've like,
I'm just talking about.
hey, give me paid more if you can't say I'm 6'3".
What was I gonna add? Oh, Patty, he's my favorite. He's like probably one of my favorite players in the NBA. His like shot prep and what he does to like get open and like he's always moving. It's like a thing of beauty. I love that you said Patty Mills. That's a great answer.
I watched him warm up in Miami when you guys played them, and it is just a machine. Everything is it's just
same
compact,
pocket,
same
like
mirror image of every jump shot is the exact same.
I got one other thing. So recently in this draft, to be honest with you, I did not follow a lot of the draft coverage, but I heard a couple guys as their player comps, not necessarily on draft night, but like people talking about them, like, oh, he has a chance to be like a Grant Williams. That's got to be like kind of cool for you at this point in your career to be like, damn, GMs, front offices are looking at these young up and coming kids as somebody that could fill a role the way I fill a role.
Absolutely. Like that actually makes me like know that the work that I'm putting in is worth it, because I remember when I was coming out, who's the next Draymond Green?
Yeah.
Now it's like, who's the next Grant Williams? And I hope that creates that same factor because the way the league is transitioning, how wing-oriented it is, how you need to be able to be able to guard 5 positions. Like, that's a very, very important thing. And honestly, like, I would have never dreamed that, Like, I grew up, it's awkward because my favorite players are Boris Diaw, Draymond Green. Like, no one ever says that, but, like, that was me. And the fact that hopefully one day, like, a guy like E.J. Liddell says, like, I'm trying to be like Grant Williams, like, I would have never have dreamed that was going to be a thing. But next thing you know, it has been. And hopefully I can just continue to progress and get better and make that a continued statement throughout the course of my career.
That was funny enough. That was a guy that I heard often being compared to was E.J. Liddell.
That was beautiful.
You would say that. Anyways, Grant, thanks so much for joining us, man. I know you're a busy guy, and you made time for us, and that means a lot to us.
Hey, anytime you need me, man, I'm here for you, brother.
Cheers.
Cheers, bro.